So, just a little more background context. I'm going to be giving you the Experience UGA kind of criteria and our methods for creating this video. Since you're doing it for a class, be sure to double check with your professor. They might have different requirements or different criteria or different ways they want you to let them know what book you've selected and such. I'm not sure. So just make sure to take that into consideration before starting the project. I believe I know that it's due in that first week of March. I could be wrong, again, double check. So you do have some time. I'm going to be holding office hours throughout the semester, and I'm accessible by email and phone. So if you have any questions or problems, you can always just reach out to me. So these are the 5 things you need to do before beginning your video. Make sure you have a public library card. That is free for all. I mean, public library cards are always free, but you can get it just by being a UGA student. You don't have to be a Georgia resident. So you would click that link. And see you're eligible. So you can hit attend school in Georgia, fill out the application, make sure you put your phone number, even though it says it's not required. And then you can hit other ID and you can put your student ID number. It takes like 5 seconds and you'll immediately have access to the library card. If you're going to use sound effects, you'll want to download the app Novel Effect on your phone or tablet. I'll get into that in a second. Again, if you're using Novel Effect, you'll want to have 2 devices easily accessible. So like a computer, your laptop and phone, laptop and tablet. I think you could technically do it on tablet and phone, but I'm not entirely sure. You'll select a platform and book, which I'll get into, and then you'll submit this Google form. And that's just to tell me what book you are going to read, so I can let you know if we already have a video of that book. So, accessing the public library. If you're not from Georgia, you can use your library from your home state. I'm from Florida, so I also use my library from there. Again, make sure to input your phone number. So when you sign on, there are 3 different platforms that you can utilize to create a Read Aloud. And for one of them, it asks for a PIN number to sign on. And the PIN is the last 4 digits of your phone number. Save your library card number somewhere you can easily access it. I have it in the Notes app, and then that's the website to the Athens-Clarke County Library. So all of Georgia operates under the same kind of library system, but the Athens-Clarke County Library's website, it's sometimes easier to get to some of the other links if you just go there. So the app Novel Effect, I'm gonna play this video really quickly. I'm gonna mute it. So it's this app that you can get on your iPhone, and when you open it, it has a bunch of different books, and you select a book, and then when you start reading the book, it kind of like recognizes your voice and that you're reading the words, and it plays sound effects to go with it. So for example, if you start talking about the rain, you'll start hearing rain. And so what you want to do is you'll want to make sure that the volume on the Novel Effect app is set as high as it can go, because you'll be recording it. And this tells you how to do that. With 2 of the platforms, Tumblebooks and eReads, sometimes it's a little more challenging, but it is still possible. This is not a requirement for us, but again, double check with your professor if they are requiring you to use Novel Effect. Again, have 2 devices available. So this training is for MacBook Pros or Air, like Mac products, Apple products, because I use iMovie at the end. If you do not have Apple products, that's fine. We've had students record it without them. You can actually record the whole thing using Zoom. But if you do need access to a computer, we have a MacBook Pro that can be used in our office with an appointment. So just email me and we can walk you through that. Okay, so first, I'm going to pause for a second to see if anyone has any questions so far. Thank you, Dr. Rick. I did not know that. Okay. So here are the 3 platforms. I'm going to show you some pros and cons of each one. So first is Overdrive. So Overdrive is actually really cool. I highly recommend. You can download the Libby app and get books for yourself to read on your phone. But Overdrive, the thing about it, it's really easy to use. It doesn't always have a ton of books. So you can go to subjects. You want to make sure you're on ebooks and not audiobooks. And these are all the different books they have. So you want to go to juvenile fiction, and you can look at picture book fiction. And again, you'll want to look at grade level. Our grade level is kindergarten, the grade level we're looking for in that K through 2 kind of range. Now, what you would do then is you just click borrow, and then you have access to the book. You can select access for a week, 14 days, or 21 days. I recommend doing a week and trying to get done within that week, just so we don't have all the books kind of checked out of their library. And then what you'll do is you'll go to loans and you'll see the book. So for this training, I'm going to use The Kissing Hand. And so I'll walk you through a little bit more about it then. It's really easy to use with the app Novel Effect. It's accessible on your computer, phone, and tablet. It's sometimes difficult to search, but if you have a book in mind that you want to do already, you can search and see if they have it. And there are, I believe, about 80 total picture books. So there's less options than some of the others. Next is Tumble Books. Tumble Books is interesting. It really does it's like videos basically of the books. So the one we'll use is a Paperback Princess. And then you would hit play video. You don't want to do a read along because that's kind of what we're trying to do. But again, you'll look at storybooks mostly. You can also look at ebooks and look at these, but sometimes they're more chapter books, and that can be a problem. So I suggest looking at storybooks. There's a lot of options here. It can be sometimes challenging to utilize with the app Novel Effect, and sometimes the search platform is can be a little bit difficult, the Tumble search. But it's fun and it is still doable. And then the last one is eRead Kids. This one seems to often have books that aren't available that you have to place a hold. So again, you might want to just, this is a project you really don't want to wait till the last minute on, because you may have to you can place a hold on a book. That's fine. We have no problem with that. For instance, like Panda Bear, what you see right now, it's place hold. But you can search, browse by subject. It's kind of a difficult browsing because, as you can see, again, they have a lot of chapter books also. For instance, you're not going to want to do a read aloud with Little Women, but you can, again, search. So this we use for the training. I'm using Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. Also, I want to go ahead and state you're welcome to do, if you speak Spanish, you're welcome to do a read aloud in Spanish. We have a lot of Spanish speakers in the Clark County School District. We don't have any Spanish read alouds right now. I do not speak Spanish, so I cannot do a sample Spanish one, but that is an option to you as well if your professors approve it. So again, you'll have to speak with your professors about that. So those are the 3 platforms. Does anyone have any questions specifically about any of the platforms before I get into actually how we make these? And you can just drop them in the chat or, again, unmute yourself and ask. Okay, and again, if you have access to an ebook using another platform, so like if you own a picture book on Kindle or different libraries, Overdrive, you're welcome to use that instead. These are just the ones accessible with the Georgia Library Card and the one I'm doing a training on. So if you use Kindle or another one, I may not be able to offer as much assistance because I don't have as much familiarity with that. Okay, so the next thing you'll do is you'll submit this Google form. Basically, this just lets me know what book you've chosen, what platform you're using, whether you're using Novel Effect, and then if you have Apple computer products. Again, you don't have to have Apple products. It just lets me know so that I'm prepared if you need to check out the Mac or anything like that. I will get back to you within 24 hours of submitting the form to let you know that that book is good to go. You're welcome to make multiple read alouds. Also, we obviously encourage it. But again, I know this is kind of a big project, and I believe only one will count towards your grade. So that is up to you. If you need like a more urgent response, at the end of the presentation, I'll provide my email and phone number with everybody. If you want to, like if you're sitting down and you're ready to do that, read aloud right then, you can text me and ask me if the book is available. That we prefer you submitting the Google form. Okay, the recording process. So you start by recording the narration and Novel Effect together. I'll get into the details. Don't worry, I'm not just gonna, this isn't just the only slide. If you're not going to use Novel Effect, you obviously can skip this step. But you record the narration and then you save it as like an audio. I use QuickTime Player. You can also use Zoom. I can't train you with Zoom while we're on Zoom, so I'm going to train you using QuickTime Player. But the videos in this presentation also will show you Zoom. And if you have, I can always send asynchronous trainings of how to do it with Zoom if you would like that. And use Novel Effect on your phone while doing it. Then you save that as an audio file and you play the audio file back. And while you're listening to it, which I hate listening to my own voice, but you just gotta power through, you record the pages turning with the screen recording and you were just lining it up with the audio. And then you record intro and outro videos. And then for the editing process, you combine it all. So for step one, you record the narration and the Novel Effect together. So how this slide works is you select which platform you've decided to use and whether you're using Novel Effect or not. I'm just gonna go through this. So what you'll do is, this is where the screen sharing gets complicated. So you will open QuickTime. I use QuickTime Player. How QuickTime Player works is you just hit File, which I'm not sure the screen sharing actually shows, but it's up in the corner next to QuickTime Player if it isn't showing it. And you'll do New Audio Recording. So then you want to have your book open, which, let me show you. So, right, give me 1 second. Okay. So you will, for Overdrive, you click Read Now in browser is fine. This was from the training. Again, the reason I say Google Chrome is because you can click view and turn off the toolbar and then it's just the book, which is more aesthetically pleasing, but it's not a requirement by any means. So then what you would do is, it's not going to show us on the screen, but you go to QuickTime or Zoom, depending on what you're using, and you click File, New Audio Recording. So it looks like this. And then you can pull up the book on Novel Effect. So I'm doing that on my phone. I'm at the office, so I can't share my screen on my phone, but you can see it. You search Novel Effect. We're doing The Kissing Hand. And you want to just click this music button and it downloads it. Well, not downloads it, it doesn't take any data. But you can hear the sound. So then you start recording. And say, The Kissing Hand by Audrey Penn, illustrated by Ruth Harper and Nancy Leake. Chester Raccoon stood at the edge of the forest and cried. I don't want to go to school, he told his mother. I want to stay home with you. I want to play with my friends and play with my toys and read my books and swing on my swing. Please, may I stay home with you? Mrs. Raccoon took Chester by the hand and nuzzled him on the ear. Sometimes we all have to do things we don't want to do, she told him gently, even if they seem strange and scary at first. But you will love school once you start. Okay, so then I'm going to stop the recording. I'm not going to do the whole book. We'd be here a long time. No one's done the full kissing hand. So if that's a book you want to do, that's welcome. So you stop the recording and then you save it. Kissing hand audio. I'm just going to save it to my desktop right now. Okay. And you want to make sure you have it available. So, and this video walks you through how to do that with novel effect again. If you're doing it without novel effect, you do what I just did. But obviously without novel effect, and there's a way to record the screen at the same time. Screen recording with audio. So next, you need to record the pages turning. So what you'll do is you'll open that audio file and the book. It's going to open in iTunes. I know you can't see it. And say, The Kissing Hand by Audrey Pinn. Okay. So it'll start the audio. This is my least favorite part because I don't like listening to my own voice, but it's okay. So then you start the book over and you go to QuickTime Player again, File, you'll hit New Screen Recording. And for this, you want to have the options microphone set to none, otherwise it'll record your recording again. Start recording. Play The Kissing Hand. And say, The Kissing Hand by Audrey Pinn, illustrated by Ruth Harper and Nancy Leake. Chester Raccoon stood at the edge of the forest and cried. I don't want to go to school, he told his mother. I want to stay home with you. I want to play with my friends and play with my toys and read my books and swing on my swing. Please, may I stay home with you? Mrs. Raccoon took Chester by the hand and nuzzled him on the ear. Sometimes we all have to do things we don't want to do, she told him gently, even if they seem strange and scary at first. But you will love school once you start. Okay, so now you can see you have the screen recording of you flipping the pages in time with yourself reading it. My face is there because this is on a Zoom call, so it's recording that. When you record with Zoom, there's actually a way to turn that off, which I show you in the videos. But if you don't want your face there, but you're welcome to keep your face there the whole time. And then again, you file, save. As whatever you would like to save it as. Okay. So does that make sense to everyone? And again, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Okay, I'm seeing thumbs up, so I'm going to assume we're good. Okay. And then this is a video of how to do it without novel effect. So Tumble Books. So it's the same thing, but a little bit different because it's a different software program. Okay, so how Tumble Books works is you click play video and you want to make sure you have the volume off. Otherwise, you'll hear that kind of noise. You would make it full screen. And then again, you would do QuickTime or Zoom and a new screen recording. You would do the audio recording first with or without novel effects, save it, and then again do the screen recording. And just to show you a little of what it looks like. So you'd say The Paperback Princess, story by Robert Munch. And you read along with how it goes blue. So there was a princess named Elizabeth who was going to marry a prince named Ronald. Unfortunately, a large dragon flew up, took an enormous fiery breath. It went rawr. And so it goes through the whole story. Tumble Books is fun because it has those little animations. And again, if you record it as a screen recording, it's pretty much doing the same as if you were doing Overdrive. So you open the audio recording software, like we said, open your Tumble Book. The biggest thing here is to make sure you mute it. When you're using novel effect, you want to make sure the volume is up fully on your phone also, just so you can hear everything. You begin the recording, then begin novel effect, and then read along, and then save your audio recording, and then do the same thing with the screen recording portion. And then this is how to do it without novel effect. If you'd like to record audio and pages at the same time, you can do this by screen recording with microphone. For more information, it tells you how to do that there. It's just to save a step. So then eRead Kids is the same kind of idea. Let me see if I can find it though. This is a book through eRead Kids. Now the thing you want to make sure is you want to flip through with eRead Kids and make sure all the pages have already downloaded, because otherwise it'll kind of start loading in the middle of you reading, and that can be distracting. Okay, so it has all downloaded. So again, you would do a new audio recording and just record A told B and B told C, I'll meet you at the top of the coconut tree, and then do the screen recording. And this is another one where this is why sometimes it's nice to use Google Chrome, because it looks better without the toolbar. You're welcome to have the toolbar. Make sure the tabs are like, try to limit the number of tabs you have and make sure they're just like the library books and stuff and not Facebook and things like that if the tabs are going to show up. You can use novel effects still. And you click through with the arrows and it's the same way. So step 2, I already kind of showed you. It's recording the pages turning as a screen recording, lining it up with the audio. And you do it the same way no matter what platform you're using. You do screen recording and you either hit play for the video for Tumble Books, flip through the pages for eReads, and for Overdrive. Again, if you can find your book on Overdrive, that's one I think is easiest for using novel effects. So it's the one I recommend. But if not, it's fine to use one of these other platforms so long as you get it approved with your professor. Okay, so the next part is recording your intro and outro videos. You can do this on Zoom or on QuickTime, or you can do it on your phone just with a video like the Photos app. Basically, the intro video, we want to make sure you introduce yourself. Say, I'm recording a read aloud from the College of Education for Experience UGA, your major, or what if you're in elementary education, what you're hoping to do, and then the name of the book you'll be reading. So that's your introduction video. So it's just as simple as, hi, my name's Olivia. I'm the AmeriCorps service member with Experience UGA. Today I'll be reading The Last Stop on Market Street. If I was in college still, I would say I'm a College of Education student. I'm hoping to become an elementary education teacher, you can say. And then your outro video, which needs to be a separate video, you need to make sure it's 2 separate videos, explains why you chose that book. So thank you so much for reading this with me. I chose that book because I read it a lot. My father read it to me as a child and it really resonated with me. Or it was my favorite book as a kid, or I just thought it was funny. Anything, it just adds a little personal effect that we think is nice. Save both videos separately. Please make sure your background is orderly when you're doing this. We have virtual backgrounds that you can use if you're recording on Zoom. Here they are. And I continue to update this and add more to it. You can also use the virtual backgrounds like Zoom has to offer if you want, but just make sure there's nothing inappropriate in the background, no posters that you wouldn't want a 5-year-old to see, nothing like that. And so sometimes using a virtual background is easiest, other times just making sure it's a plain wall behind you. So does everyone follow up to this point? Okay, awesome. So next is the editing process. So I'm going to show you how to do this using iMovie because again, I have an Apple product. If you use another editing software, that's fine. Try not to use one where it leaves a watermark though. And if you record the whole thing on Zoom and don't have access to an editing software, I can also, because you can record it on Zoom in one go, I can help you out by adding this extra part. So for iMovie, you just drag and drop the video there. So this is the introduction video. To import media, you hit File, Import Media. It's not too complicated. And then you just find the media that you want to import. So you want to have also an Experience UGA logo with no background. It's right, I have it on the slide for you to download. Your video, your intro and outro videos. For the training, I'm just using one video. The pages turning and the audio. So you do your introduction video and then you put your pages turning and below it the audio. And this is where you want to make sure it lines up. Okay, so it doesn't. So we have more audio than recording. So we may have to clip some parts. So let's see. The kissing hand. Okay. So this part, now let's see. And now it lines up. So I just had to trim that normal part. So again, what you do is you click this, you right click, so control click the thing and hit trim to playhead and it'll trim to wherever that line is. And you have to do that sometimes if recording blank space as you get your stuff ready. So then you would add the outro video at the end. Now to add the Experience UGA logo to the video, you drag this down and just put it right there. Line it up here. Go to crop and make sure it's just fit, so it's the whole thing. Go to this, and where it says cutaway, instead do picture in picture. And then you come over here and you drag it to wherever you want it. So now it has the Experience UGA logo. Again, if you're having problems with that, just email me. I have no problem. I can add the logo. Sometimes if you don't have an Apple product, sometimes I have to do that. That's fine. And I'll be doing office hours. We can go over iMovie more in office hours. But yeah, then you have a read aloud. So hi, my name is Olivia with Experience UGA, and I'm excited to read the book, The Kissing Hand, with you. The Kissing Hand by Audrey Penn. Chester Raccoon stood at the edge of the forest and cried. So as you can see, you have your read aloud video. The process, oh, that's the wrong thing, hold on. Okay. The overall process takes about an hour to an hour and a half to do. We recommend before you start filming to practice reading the book once or twice through, just to make sure you kind of know what's coming and don't trip up your words while filming. After you're done, just save your video and use OneDrive to submit it. Log in using your UGA login, click upload file and upload the video. It may take a few minutes to upload. You may have to kind of just leave it running and come back. Once it is uploaded, watch it to make sure it uploaded correctly, and then share it with me, olivia.rothstein@uga.edu. We will distribute it to Clark County teachers, parents, and students. Again, that's my email. I will put my phone in the chat. Okay, and now I'm going to stop sharing. And just open the floor to questions or anything. Okay, so it doesn't look like there are any questions.